By the time this 7-minute video ends, another person will have become a millionaire, and they didn't do it by being smart. It's time to admit a simple, uncomfortable truth. Your financial outcomes in 2026 have almost nothing to do with how high your IQ is, and everything to do with how you behave. This isn't a guide on spreadsheets. This is about the hidden operating system in your brain that controls your bank account. Welcome to the new psychology of wealth. Let's contrast two men. On the left, Ronald Reed. He was a gas station attendant and janitor for 25 years. He never earned a high salary. On the right, a Harvard-educated finance executive. Which one died rich? The janitor, Ronald Reed, died in 2014 with over $8 million to his name. How? Because he mastered behavior. He bought blue-chip stocks, he avoided debt, and most importantly, he waited. The executive, he was brilliant, but his behavior was reckless. He took massive risks, spent to keep up with appearances, and went bankrupt in a recession. His intelligence couldn't save his portfolio from his ego.
This brings us to rule number 1 of the new wealth script. Compounding rewards patience, not intelligence. Getting rich isn't about hitting a one-time home run, it's about not striking out for 30 years.
Rule number 2. We pay a signaling tax to look rich. We buy things we don't need to impress people we don't know. Wealth is what you don't spend. The most powerful behavioral change you can make is to stop buying status symbols with debt. In 2026, behavioral discipline is no longer optional. The economy has shifted. Asset prices, like housing and stocks, are far more expensive than they were for our parents. You could no longer earn your way to wealth just with a high salary. You must invest. The problem is, 2026 has more noise dysmorphia than ever. Social media shows you everyone's before and after success story, but never the mundane work in the middle. Your brain craves dopamine, not discipline. You don't need a high IQ to build a life of freedom. You just need a high DQ, behavioral discipline. The 2026 wealth script is already written. The question is, are you going to follow the script or keep rewriting your mistakes?
The middle class trap. In 2026, the most dangerous place to be isn't broke, it's comfortable. Why? Because comfort is the enemy of compounding. We buy the house we can barely afford, and the car that loses 20% of its value the moment we drive it home. We aren't building wealth, we're servicing debt while wearing a designer mask.
Look at the data. Real wages haven't kept pace with the cost of living for decades. If you are following the financial advice your parents used in the 90s, you are statistically guaranteed to fail. The psychology of saving is dead. The psychology of acquiring assets is the only way out. The 1% don't look at a $500 purchase as $500. They see it as the opportunity cost of that $500 compounded at 8% for 20 years. That pair of sneakers isn't $500, it's $2,300 of your future freedom. When you change how you see price, you change how you build value.
Wealth isn't a mystery, it's a mechanical process. Like the gears in a fine timepiece, it requires every part to move in sync. Your income is the fuel, your behavior is the oil, and time is the only ingredient you can't buy more of. Every day you wait to master your psychology is a day of compounding you lose forever. So how do we escape? Step 1. Kill the ego. Stop buying things to impress people you don't like. Step 2. The 50-30-20 Rule 2.0. In 2026, you need to flip the script. Aim for 50% needs, 10% wants, and 40% into high-yield assets. Step 3. identity shifting. Stop saying, I can't afford that, and start asking, how can I own the company that makes that? The 2026 wealth script isn't about luck. It's about the cold, hard discipline of managing the person in the mirror. You have the tools, you have the data, and now you have the psychology. The question isn't, can you get rich? The question is, are you disciplined enough to stay that way? The most expensive phrase in the English language is, I'll start tomorrow. In the psychology of money, a 1-year delay today doesn't cost you a year of growth. It costs you the final year of your compounding, which is often the biggest. Waiting is a tax you pay to your future self, and in 2026, that tax is at an all-time high.
Your brain is being hijacked. Every notification, every targeted ad, every flex on your feed is a psychological weapon designed to separate you from your capital. To win in 2026, you have to be okay with being misunderstood. You have to be okay with looking broke to people who are actually drowning in debt. Real wealth is silent. Real poverty is loud.
Most people will watch this video and do nothing. They'll go back to the same habits, the same signaling tax, and the same comfort trap. But you're still here. That means you've already started the shift. The psychology of money isn't just about math. It's about the courage to choose a different path than the crowd. Your wealth isn't determined by the economy, it's determined by your identity. If you're ready to rewrite your wealth script, hit the subscribe button and join our community of 2026 investors. Comment the word discipline below so I know who made it to the end. I'll see you in the next breakdown.